I think there's a big silver lining here. And it's a big silver lining more, I think, for the club. Because remember, we've gone through this over signings and resources and stuff like that. The club can now turn around and say, okay, Conte, you're out of the Champions League. We're not really fussed by the Europa League. Now you can't complain that your squad isn't big enough or qualitative enough. Now we expect you to go and to win Serie A. And I think right now, to the club and to their journey back to where they want to be, that matters more. I'm talking about the owners here than a run in Europe where then you run into Real Madrid or Manchester City and then you go out in the round of 16. Whoop-de-doo.
Genuine silver lining?
Get knocked out.
Well, he's got a point, though, isn't it? Now it's going to be every
surely
week.
The silver lining is if the further they advance, then financially they bring in more money, which means they can go and get more players. I mean, surely winning is the silver lining to everything that you're trying to get. Why was that a silver lining when you get knocked out and you're now in the Europa League?
Stevie, I think they're going to mail it in the Europa League. I don't think that they're fussed. I know this for a fact. I'm obviously saying it's still a cloud. When you have a silver lining, there's still a big cloud there. But the reality is, from the club's perspective, had they still been in Europe or in the Champions League come January, the marginal difference of getting knocked out in the round of 16 or in the quarterfinal and getting knocked out in the group stage for a club like Inter isn't going to be as big as the cost you have to incur in January to have an angry Conte saying, look, I'm top of the table. I got us through out of a group as a 4 seed, out of a group with Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona. Now let's go and spend some money. I think this is how a portion of the club views it. I'm sure they would have rather advanced, but from their perspective, this certainly isn't a tragedy.
They're never going to get anywhere then.
Yeah. Why spend 90 million on a player? Why bring players in? I know they've got some injuries. Why bring a manager in, a successful manager, domestically anyway? Why bring these guys in if, as a club, you're quite happy not to further yourself? On the other side of the coin,
but if it means they win the league, then...
Well, you say that.
But that's an if.
And you say that because didn't Napoli under Sarri a couple of years ago mail it in the Europa League and still run out of gas at the end of the season? So there are no guarantees for mailing it in and getting success. What?
No, of course there's no guarantees, but Sarri isn't Conte. Sarri a couple of years ago didn't go and threaten to burn down the house, metaphorically, obviously, if they didn't get more investment in. I mean, that's the reality of it. They're in a different situation right now. They're in a different place and a different time to where Napoli was. They're a different club with a different history. There's no question that knocking Juventus off their... Yeah, would it be better if they won the Champions League? Sure, it would have been a lot better if they'd won the Champions League. But if this gives them a better chance of going and winning Serie A this season, after knocking Juventus off their perch after 8 years, that matters more in the club's timeline in Conte's first season than going into a run in Europe where you're likely to not make it past the round of 16 or at best the quarterfinals.
Maybe in the front office that makes sense. Maybe administratively that makes sense. But for the players on the field and the technical staff, you're trying to win the game. You don't see this big picture. Well, if we do this, and then if we do that, and then if we pull the resources from there, and we're able to achieve this. No, you're there to win. You're there to compete and advance in the competition as far as you possibly can. So when you see Antonio Conte and his reactions when the team scores today, and he's excited and he's going into halftime, and here's an opportunity, it's because he's thinking about advancing. He's not thinking about, this gives us a better opportunity to win Serie A title. That I do not buy whatsoever.
Round of 16s. Oh, Chelsea, Lyon, Dortmund now, not Inter. Napoli, who, correct me if I'm wrong, Inter are above. All these other clubs that are likely to be there, possibly Shakhtar Donetsk, all these are we saying Inter Milan are top of Serie A and spent some big bucks in the summer are just mailing it in, Gab, because they think, we can't compete with these teams in the knockout stages. Are you saying they can't compete with some of those clubs that I just mentioned?
First of all, they're not playing those clubs, Craig. They wouldn't be playing those clubs. They would have finished second in the group. So they wouldn't be going and playing Lyon or whatever. They finished second in the group.
But even
Listen,
clubs
let's
like
just be very
Manchester
clear.
City
I'm
are
not
not playing well.
suggesting-
Man City are not playing well. There's an example.
Yeah, so Inter would be favored against Man City. Come on.
Well,
now.
well-
I mean, I'm not saying for one second that there is a single person at Inter or even a single Inter fan that is over the moon tonight and is happy at being knocked out. I'm not suggesting that one bit. But, and Conte's words after the game where he didn't tantrum, he didn't pull his hair, or whoever's hair that is, he didn't pull it out of his head, he didn't scream and shout. I think all of this speaks to the fact that they knew it was going to be a tall order when the group was drawn. Remember, they were 4 seeds, okay, in the group. They look at this and they turn it around and they turn a negative into a positive, which is I think what people generally try to do when they suffer setbacks, and they go and they try to win the league. And this gives them a better chance of winning the league.
No, I'm just looking at some other teams. Valencia, Red Bull Leipzig, Bayern Munich who are struggling. You know, let's just... I mean, why is there always an excuse? You know what?
It's not an excuse.
This gives us a better chance to win the league. What utter nonsense.
It
Liverpool
does.
didn't lose the league last year because they went to the Champions League final. They lost the league because, unfortunately for them, there was just a team that was just slightly better. It's just full of excuses.
Liverpool are a different club
I'm
with
not
a
in
different manager
club.
and different players.
Why is all these excuses?
It's not an excuse.
It is.
Listen. If I were making excuses, I would have said, "Oh, they're unlucky. They went out. They weren't unlucky. They deserved to go out.
Well,
they deserved to go out because of what they did against Borussia Dortmund, what they did against Slavia Prague, what they did against Barcelona at the Camp Nou, and what they did in the first half against Barcelona this evening. This is why they deserve to win out."
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.